Hello, Yash, and welcome to Kalata. Or should I call you Rocky?
Call me Yash.
You know, in 2008, your solo hero film was Rocky,
Oh yeah.
and your character here is Rocky.
Yes.
And there's this, like very strange thing that the film that propelled you to like public consciousness, if you will, and now this film that's made you this mega superstar. Both happy was
Similar
Rocky.
name.
Have you
Yeah.
thought about that?
Yeah. It came to my mind. Initially, we wanted some name, which is very. It was used during those days. 80s. This thing which had that popular. What do you call? Filmy name.
Right.
Basically, so that's the idea, and then somehow this thing came up. So it sounded cool. From west to India, everywhere this name was very relevant then. For some reason, you get that kind of a vibe when you hear about that name. So Rocky was one such name, very uh, colloquial also you can say. Everybody had that kind of familiarity with the line.
Right.
Name, sorry.
So when Prashanth said, "Let's name it Rocky," did you immediately say, "Oh my God, that was the name of my"?
Yeah, I think I don't remember. Yeah, but yes, it was there, and I was thinking about this character more.
Only.
Oh yeah, the Rocky will suit this thing.
So, what has the journey been like from that Rocky to this Rocky? You have to forgive me because I'm going to ask you this. Has it been a rocky journey?
It's been a fantastic journey, I should say, because if you don't enjoy the journey, what is the use? So in
Right.
life, that is the most important thing. I do believe in destinations, but it's not like destiny is important. Like they say, journey is the most important thing. But having said that, I also feel that destiny is also something which is important in life. So you need to have an idea where, at least to which direction you are heading. I kind of wanted to do things which makes me happy, and in the process, if I can entertain people, or it's a mixed this thing, but it's been a quite interesting journey.
Yeah, when you say destiny, do you mean like in the cosmic sense, or do you mean your destination? That
My
kind of.
destination
Oh,
kind
okay,
of a
okay,
thing. And
okay.
yeah, that also we do believe, we all are like our culture, our roots. We also believe that whatever you do, but some blessing or whatever you call your parents, good deeds or
Yeah.
something will definitely, because there are a lot of people who work harder than us, or maybe even talented, or maybe even good looking, whatever you. I don't go with looks.
Yeah.
Looks is the least of my this thing, because that's something which my parents have given me. There's nothing I can be proud of. But yes, I think it's a blessing also.
You said that, if I can entertain people. Now, when you started your career with television, you were entertaining people even then.
True.
But did you enter television with the vision of saying, okay, I'm going to go do this for a while and then become a film, get into films? Or at that point, were you just like, I'm happy doing television?
No, I always wanted to get into films. I wanted to be a hero. I wanted to be a star, because I'm somebody who has grown up watching films, and I always wanted to be that guy on screen. So it was never television or anything. I want to be a superstar. That's the whole belief system.
Right.
And I used to participate in a lot of cultural activities.
Right.
So you get that extra attention. Probably I got addicted to it at a very young age, the applause or the visual, visual powder. It's about that. So then I didn't realize that this is a task, and it takes a lot of dedication and all of that, because I was too young then. Then I got into theaters. From theater to television. Television I didn't want to do. I wanted to have a great debut, but who will give us? In my head it is like, you wanted the best debut in the world. If I come on screen, then people will love me. That's the
Right.
illusion I was living in. But then I had to earn it step by step. I realized television was. Somebody saw my work in theater. I started with backstage,
Right.
because my parents were not very happy with me getting into industry. It's a tough task, so they all thought, okay, it's not a good idea for our son.
And then you ran away and
I ran away, I came, and then I had to learn the hard truth of, life is like that, and that's the best thing happened to me. I went to theatre, did backstage work, and after that I went to television. Somebody saw me in one of the plays and they offered me the role, and then when I did television, I was like, if I come in television, I'll have too much of exposure, and that was the belief system then. But I think that's the best part again. Television taught me so many things. All the technical aspects of filmmaking, all this, I learnt it in television because it's very cozy. You do it in one house and couple of actors and comparatively very small number of people work on television series. So, and they will be very patient. So that's where I learnt. I didn't know how to walk, in between those areas where they would have marked. All of that gave me a lot of exposure and experience. Because theatre acting, you will be loud, and when you have a close up, there is a different kind of thing. So you have to have that balance. Every medium has a different kind of needs. So then cinema. Television gave me the strength, it gave me money. So it started with 500 rupees per day, and then I got another offer soon after my teaser got released. Somebody offered me another role, and I didn't want to do it, so I said no, I'm not interested. Then they were behind me, so I said 1500 rupees per day, which nobody was paying at that time. But then they gave me that. Then I couldn't say no because I was in need. My parents were also shifting, so I thought, okay, let me take care of my family and all of that. And then just went on. I started investing that money on my outfits. Back then we had to buy our own clothes in television. So a lot of people used to just maintain with couple of clothes and maintain 2-3 serials. But I wanted every character to be different. So I used to invest my most of money into that. So everybody used to laugh at me saying, what is this, you're doing a foolish thing. You should invest in properties, you should save your money and buy some car or something. I was still roaming around in bike. I used to have a big bag, where I used to put all my outfits, and I used to go to sets, and they used to feel, hey, you can at least buy one small car. Everybody is having it, you should have one. But my vision was to get into cinema. So I said, no, I will buy a bigger car later, but let me present myself well. And somebody saw, maybe they saw something in me, and they gave me offer in cinema.
Right. A lot of people run away from home wanting to be in cinema, and I don't know what the figure is, but maybe 1% or 2% of them actually,
make it,
succeed. When you look back at your success now, how do you feel? Is there a sense of gratitude, or is there a sense of, I don't know, something, do you think of the divine interference?
Yeah, it's mixed.
What do you think of it? Because, it's like some people just say, it's all chance, right? And then some people have specific reasons for it. What is your take on it?
See, it's mixture, I guess. Timing is important, and everybody should have at least a clear picture about what they want. Then how much they get is a different thing. But if you just sit and say it's chance or luck, it's not like that. It's not easy. At least you have to make the right decisions.
Right. What do you mean by timing exactly?
There are some aspects in life. Every minute is important, and every decision you take doing an interview today will be a right decision for the film.
Right.
If I do it after release, it is something else. Yes. Or if I do it too early, it can be. And there are so many things which is beyond our control, but you should have the control sometimes. At least you should try. You should try to have a clear picture about what you want in life and where you're heading.
Right.
And then rest. It is never like how exactly you want it, the way exactly you want it, but I think you should keep trying. And conviction is the essence, is what I feel. If you believe in yourself, and your belief system will reflect, and I think you attract those things. I believe in that thing. If you attract positivity, if you have that, supposing you want to buy a car or something, if you're going on a drive, you will notice those kind of cars. I've experienced that. Because you have that thing in your head, you can see it clearly. So you should have that focus and you should know what you want. Opportunities are there everywhere. So you need to have that right kind of mindset and the eye to identify the opportunity.
Now, you and Prashanth Neel have been on this adventure for a few years now.
Yeah.
What is the one thing about him that really, really stands out for you?
He is a very genuine guy. And you know, any filmmaker or any actor, you have to be honest, and he's brutally honest. You know, that's one quality I like, and he's a team player. And there is not even an iota of ego in him. So he takes it, and he's a very smart guy. He knows if everybody is working for the project. He what do you call? He nurtures talent. He's always worked with people who are talented and dedicated than their position or their experience. So that says a lot. So it's about the vision, and when he wants something to be done, he gets out of everybody, gets the best out of everybody. I think that is the best quality in him.
Right. Has he been brutally honest with you about your performance?
Yeah, I think all of us are. We all gel well because we're very practical.
Right.
And we have a vision, and all of us have to work for that. We are slaves of our own vision.
Right.
You know, we have to do what it takes to do that.
Right.
In the process, if I'm going wrong or if he's going wrong, we have to talk to one another and tell each other that this is what I am feeling, and he's always been very clear and supportive, even in my performance.
Right.
You know, he has helped a lot.
Right. Prashanth, the way he writes a screenplay and the way he also incorporates editing into his work is a little bit different from many other filmmakers, the way they do it. You can notice it right from his first film, you know, the way he kind of intercuts and does these little splices of things and all that kind of stuff. Did any of this affect your performance, or did you rediscover yourself as an actor in any way during K.G.F. 1 and 2?
I think we do it with every film.
Okay.
You know, it's director's vision. A director will create a world, and he will have a way or a idea to present the character or you know, the world what he would have created, and we all work towards that one goal. So in the process you get it. That is actor's job. You know, I always spend a lot of time with my directors, and I get into details not to understand the you know, nuances of cinema, but to understand where he's heading and what is his vision.
Right.
Only then I can act. So during the shoot also, if we go there, I know exactly what he's trying to achieve with this particular scene and what he's expecting, and we all sit together, and even the screenplay process, scripting, I'm part of it. So most of it, I know what he's trying to do.
Right.
And in the process, I learned a lot about technicalities, you know, and his approach will always be different.
Right.
Everybody will have their own approach, and you always get to learn. And if you are really invested in the project, you can learn a lot.
Right. No, I also meant that, let's say in a movie like Googly, right? The scenes are bigger. So you maintain a character from you know, start to finish, because it's a proper scene.
Correct.
Whereas here you're maybe lifting a hammer, and then suddenly, you know, there's going to be a flash cut to something else or something else, and then there's going to be something else, and then you're going to return to yourself. So the acting itself is a little broken up, you know.
No, I don't think we shoot it that way. So we shoot the whole sequence.
The whole sequence.
In the edit, he uses whatever he requires, and
Right.
in the tempo. But
no, I'm just talking about your expressions themselves.
correct,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
I think I know where you're coming from. How do you maintain that continuity and still give that performance this thing?
Yeah.
No, I think it's all his work. I always believe it's a director's medium.
Right.
When a movie is done, you have no control about how you will be presented.
Right.
Now I could be doing the one of the best work that day, but if he's not capturing it well, if he has kept his shot on my shoes, if the director wants it on his shoes, what is the use? And it's always like that, and they also enhance our performance. Maybe with the other intercuts, the other actors, you know,
Right.
there is another essence with that, and he's master in it. So he has that complete idea that when he's shooting, he knows that this is the intercut. So we know there is something else coming here, and I think it's done mostly in the post. But yet, I get what you're saying. As an actor, I think I've adapted to his thing. That comes naturally when you spend so much time. You kind of get to know now. I myself will be thinking when I'm acting, okay, now that this other scenes shot will come here, the next moment he will use probably use this expression, and I'll try to give that little enhancement, but not. I won't be thinking about it all the time, but I kind of get it organically. You know, when you spend so much time, you understand the director's taste, and then you have to work accordingly.
So when Prashanth first comes to you and says he has this meeting with the producer with Homely Films and now he's coming to you and saying, this is what I have, your reaction was, did you think, can we pull it off?
Yeah, see, it went, it was quite different than what you're expecting. He is a very bad narrator. So if he had not done Ugram, I'm sure nobody would have believed him. So I always make fun of him. You know, he shows it now that everybody knows what he's capable of. But initially, when he came and he started narrating, you just couldn't understand a thing. But I could see what he was trying to communicate. And then he came with one idea and then he presented it. In that, this K.G.F. whole thing was a very small part. So when he told me about this, there's an illegal mine, he would have captured the people, there is a thing, he has a task, and the mother thing was the main this thing. And I said, why are you putting everything into one? This itself can become a very big story, and I think this is for what that mother is expecting, and this can be a great this thing, because it's a symbolic thing. A mother wants the son to achieve something what she couldn't do. So you need drama, and you need that kind of what do you call that, problems for hero to emerge. Then what do you choose in a commercial film? It could have been in a corporate setup, it could have been in a village setup, anywhere, but the emotion is always very pure. The story is pure. With the stylized this thing, you make it a commercial this thing where people enjoy the process and understand the story as well. So when he told, I said, this is how I am looking at it. And he said, really, is this enough? I said, yeah, fantastic. And then he went, he worked around and he came, because I had fallen in love with his work when I had seen Ugram this thing, and he had seen my film, so that mutual this thing was there. And I always believe directors bring in that thing for you. Every actor, they will be looking them in a different angle. They would be thinking about, I think I should present him like this. So I was very happy. I was excited.
You said that he's a very bad narrator, right? Now, but you're saying you saw that spark.
No, the things what he said, I could understand, but the way he says it, even today I think, if this is out of my experience, I can tell you, if he narrates a scene, if you're not excited, just give it some time and ask him what he's trying to do. But when you go there, he will make it a fantastic scene. That's his strength.
Right. Prashanth told me that he envisioned you as a bearded guy first and then a non-bearded guy later.
Correct.
And then you said, I'm not taking off the beard because that's part of Rocky. You came to really love that beard.
Yeah, and I can't imagine this character without it. I personally love beard. So that is also one reason. And you kind of tune into one, you get into one mode where this is the character and this is the changes, and if it is not required, forcefully you shouldn't do. He wanted me to present into this thing. So if it was one film like we had planned, probably I would have done it. But when it went into two parts, the whole movie, the first chapter, they have enjoyed him being, bearded guy. And then all of a sudden in the second half, if you take it off, they will definitely miss that character. So I insisted. In fact, we went. That day we were supposed to trim my beard, and just before that I said, I think something tells me let's not do it. Let's have this role the way he is. Because he had to wear suits and all. I said, it's not about, he's not trying to look smart. Let him wear the best outfits in the world, but he should look like a Rocky who doesn't care. And of course, his character also is like that, what he had etched.
Right.
But as an actor, I convinced him then. Then he said, okay, I said, one day we'll shoot. If you're not happy, then I'll do it. Then we went and he said, this is it. I think you're looking great with the beard. The suit part, he was little concerned. That's it.
At that point, when that narration happened, you were not thinking about pan-Indian and all that, right? It was,
No.
it was a purely Kannada film.
We wanted to make a very big Kannada film.
Right, right. But when the pan-Indian thing happened, did you look back and say, why didn't I think of this before? Because it has this content, you know, to kind of go after it.
No, because I'm a very practical guy, and I knew that that is something which people, doing a big film with this kind of budget itself was a
huge
very huge thing, and most of the people didn't believe, because my biggest blockbuster had collected 50 crores then. So you putting 50 crores again on a film, well, maybe it would have looked like a foolish move then.
Yeah.
Thanks to my producer Vijay Kiragandur, he believed in our vision, and
Yeah.
both of us had aligned, and we wanted to do big things, and we had a sole purpose, you know, to do something very big in our industry. And first, we wanted our industry to reach the potential of our industry first.
Right.
So at that time, if I had thought about pan India and all, it would have been really wrong thing, and I should not even be telling that. Let me be very honest, and we didn't have that kind of a courage then. But we wanted to show the world that what we are capable of,
Yeah.
what our industry is capable of. And it becomes a responsibility when you're representing an industry or you're in some profession where a lot of people are respecting you. Why do they give success? I don't think success is for me to enjoy or just sit and relax. It's a promise what we do on screen, saying we can do this, we can do that, and they empower you.
Yeah.
They tell you that, okay, good man, you are entertaining, and let me see something from you. And with the success, you can do bigger things.
Yeah.
So that's it. That was the thing. But when he started shooting, when we started working on the film, I kind of started feeling, okay, this is shaping up in a very big way. We had that idea. We knew we were going to make this film, and Bahubali was, the discussion had started, and then that happened. I was kind of always looking at those things wherein you can go out and explore, because cinema is cinema. You would watch a cinema if it is good, irrespective of the language. But if I can give it in your language, then it might work. And thanks to S.S. Rajamouli sir, he showed the way, and he did something with all his might and all his experience. So that opened up, and then instantly, even we were thinking about those things, and I said, okay, if we are doing this, if it is working, I thought it will work everywhere else because it has a universal appeal. And then I told Prashanth, I think we'll take it outside, we'll release. So he said, no way, if you want to get into some industry or this thing, I will make a movie for you. This is not the film. I said, I don't want to go. I'm happy with whatever my people have given, but I think whatever you're doing, this work is good. And I spoke to producer, and then all of us sat, discussed. He was not up for it. It's a last minute thing.
Yeah.
I had to really force him. He underestimates himself. Even today, that's how he thinks. But he's a very confident guy, great maker. But he didn't want to do that. He said, for that kind of audience, I need a bigger scale and all of that. I said, trust me when I say this, people will fall in love with this. And then it happened.
See, of all the four southern industries, the Kannada film industry has been the most closed in a way, because it's very difficult to get to see a Kannada film outside of Karnataka, whereas other films kind of cross. You at least get a release in a few theaters or whatever it is. So has this film changed Kannada cinema in a way that a lot more people are dreaming of bigger projects and more money being invested in projects? Because it's the typical film is a small film that kind of, it may make a lot of money, but when you talk about the investment, it's still a fairly reasonable investment and all that. Has K.G.F. changed all that?
Cinema is made, it's not about the budget. It's about the intention behind that.
Right.
So that should be big. When you have a bigger intention, rather than just spending some money and then making some money out of the cinema, if you have a vision, if you want to say something, or if you want to create a benchmark, or if you, nothing wrong in imagining and aiming for something big. And I think this gave us hope that I can tell you. I don't have to be modest there. KGF gave that hope. You know, sometimes all you need is that little hope and little confidence to go out and show. There are wonderful technicians, there are wonderful young writers coming up. Yeah, the market will react accordingly, because this is not just art. There is a commerce as well. So there are satellite, digital, the rates, when they don't have a product like this from that state, the rates will be different. You know, they would have fixed it at one point saying this is what it is. So to break that limitation, to break that barrier, you have to come out with a bigger force to show that the whole world is respecting what is your issue. You know, if it is accepted all over, then you also better grow up or change your mindset. To change the mindset, KGF has given them a lot of strength. That was the vision actually. So we wanted to come out and say that inferiority is the biggest problem of our generation or country, whatever you say. We are always thinking about, okay, they are big, they are small. I don't think like that. Nobody is big, nobody is small. Only your work is big.
Right.
If you do a bigger work, I mean, the bigger aim, bigger goal, that makes you. Not because you are big or small. So we wanted to show that, and I think everybody respects that. Everybody respects, because deep down everybody is facing such difficulties on a daily basis. So it's about trying to give our best to break those barriers.
Tell me, what is your favorite scene in KGF 1?
If it is not my favorite scene, it won't be there in cinema.
I know, that's why I said it's a tough question. So
both of us think like that.
Pick one. That was especially, it was satisfying to do, and it came out great, and like something that.
Trust me, you can't say that.
You can't pick one.
I'll be biased, because every scene has got its own beauty.
Right, but
there are plenty of them. If I start saying, then I'll say, oh, no, that is not my favorite. This is my favorite.
Yeah.
Every day I've enjoyed. Every shot I've enjoyed. That's how it is made. This is made with, it's a different high. KGF itself is a different experience.
Right. And when you continued that to KGF 2, was it bigger in any way, or was it just the same kind of thing? Because when you were doing KGF 1, you did not know what was happening. Maybe at the corner of your mind, there was also a thought running saying, yes, we're doing it in 2 parts. What if part 1 does not work? Maybe that.
Yeah, that was the gamble we had to take.
Right.
A lot of people told us that if this is not successful, why will they do the second part?
Second part, yeah.
And that you have to accept it.
Right.
But we are very confident. Sometimes I don't look at these things. I only look at what we want and what it takes to be there.
Yeah.
And then rest is not in your control. So I never worry about those things which are not in my control.
Right.
But whatever is in my control, I'll give my best.
Right.
We didn't change the story at all.
Right.
The story is exactly what we had made. That whole story was a beautiful story. Now when Prashanth, he tells me now that he did it for the budget. For me at that time, he convinced me saying, I think I'm rushing. I can explore more things. And he was right. That whole Narachi portion, what you see, the second half portion, it was just 15 minutes just before the interval. So that became a half this thing of cinema. So we had to add so many scenes. Then there was another issue there, because there was no dialogues at all. Hero is stuck in that thing and he's not talking.
Yeah.
But if you're designing it for Kannada industry, or my fans who are watching, they want the elements of entertainment, all of that. Then we got those 2 scenes. That fast forward, Munadi poiting kathele, all that elements we brought it later. So I think it was a design. The whole process was to make this what we have done. So luckily people gave us that strength. Audience have given us this strength. So we are doing it the way we wanted to do. And then how well it has come, it is for people to decide.
KGF is the film that made you known all over India. Before that, so in a way it is the most significant film of your career, in one way. Before that, if I were to ask you this question, what would that film be?
There are many. Everything is a stepping stone.
But
every film.
Yeah.
Because every film has, I look at it as a fuel. Vehicle is my career, if you call it a vehicle, and these things are your fuel. So every now and then you need a fuel to go, move ahead and reach the place what you desire to reach. So it's about every now and then, every film has given me that confidence, given me that strength to go forward and do something bigger. K.G.F is also one such film. You know, what I like about these kind of things is, whatever you have done before,
Right.
people should forget that and tell that this is like the biggest thing, is when I feel happy. If they still talk about what I've done like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it means I have to do something more to impress them. Right now in my life, whatever I'm doing, if they are feeling this is the biggest, I'm very happy. But in my head, definitely this is not going to be biggest. There'll be much more. It could be. It's not just in terms of scale or whatever, but life is always beautiful. You have to have that hope and move on.
Yeah, like move
Forward.
Forward.
Yeah, that's the fuel.
Yeah. In Googly, you're a very guy next door kind of person, and
Correct.
it's a very relatable, lovable kind of guy. You know, he's like your friend. In KGF, you're this mythical 70s masala kind of mythical, you know, larger than life kind of role. I know an actor is supposed to do everything, and every role is supposed to be kind of a thing, but is there one kind of role that gives you a bigger kick than the other?
All these larger than life roles, even Googly, if you see, it's not just boy next door and
It's
his
also-
problems.
yeah.
There is an element of larger than life for this thing. He
Yeah.
becomes a very successful businessman overnight, and all of that is there. Those are the larger than life things. You know,
Right.
people love the part that where after the love failure, the guy doesn't get into depression. He goes and achieves something. That's a larger than life thing, and there is a message.
Yeah.
So I like all these kind of things where it gives hope or it makes you dream. You know, when you see the film, while coming out of theatre, your body language should change a bit. That is what a cinema for me. It's not about thinking, oh God, life is so complicated, this is what it is, hard reality. For me, if they are coming out, they should carry my persona or my style and they walk, because we have grown up watching those kind of films. So I love those kind of things.
So does that mean you would never do a negative role?
Why not? What
Like
do you
a
mean by
psychopath
negative role?
or I don't know.
Yeah, psychopath and all, I don't like those things. You know, I want families to sit and enjoy the film. This is an action film, but it is not, the action is stylized.
Right.
I don't think I should explain that thing in our part of the country, because we all know action is all stylized. It's like how an actor dances. I mean, in a song, there is no logic, but we find a logic in the song itself. So that is the beauty of our audience. You know, they have learned the art and they've been tuned into that whole you know, cinematic experience.
Right.
So I like those kind of things rather than, you know, it should not, I don't know, it's not my person. I don't watch horror films because for me, my friends think it's weird. It's not about horror. I can sleep alone or I can go anywhere, that is okay. But the shock element and all of that, I don't enjoy it personally. Like that, I don't think these are the elements which, just to show that I can perform or I can act, I will never do that.
Right.
If it has got a story where people are entertained or they kind of have some takeaway, or maybe if the movie works, I might do it. But in general, I don't like those kind of things.
Right. Which is the reason I asked you is because you said you wanted hope and positivity.
Correct.
Which is why I asked you. If you
Yeah,
would do
I always feel positive mindset is very, very important in today's life. Why do I need to think about negative things? I'm a very positive person.
Now, after KGF has established you as this level of star, now let's take the example of Amitabh Bachchan, right? There was a stage where he could act in any kind of role. He could act in an Anand, he could act in something else, and then he could also be Diwar, he could also be. But once the mega successes began, this thing began to shrink a bit. You know, like the kind of thing that audiences wanted from him, his arena, if you will, or stage or whatever it is, began to shrink a bit because they all wanted a particular kind of Amitabh. Are you kind of concerned that that might happen with you, in the sense that the audience is going to want a larger than life Yash. So I might not be able to do maybe a googly or a something else.
True, but I think it's you are responsible for that. Audience didn't ask you to make a film like K.G.F. to sign up for something like this. Once you start giving them something which they didn't expect or they like, I work for my fans and audience.
Right.
I'm nobody here to decide what I want. I just want that process to be good. I should enjoy it. And there are directors, they will come up. I don't have to worry. In my life, I have always believed in one thing. You know, right now when I'm talking to you, there are hundreds of people who are thinking about how to present me. Because they want to come out and express their stories. They want to present every hero in a different way. We'll get them. Their brains are working. They are thinking about this industry. They are thinking about this actor whom they like, whom they admire, and they have their different take on our this thing. And they come from audience, and I like it when they come from lack of experience, but yet they have accumulated that knowledge, and they want to come out and show the world that what they are capable of. So it's not just Yash who has to think about his life. There are many more people, my fans, my upcoming directors,
Future directors.
future directors. There are people who are already thinking about me, and they will come to me. We'll do something, and let's hope for the best. I know everybody has gone through this phase. I don't want to talk about it because I always have to think about good things. We'll manage. Somehow there was a phase.
No, I didn't mean it as a negative thing.
No, correct. It is a very important thing. It's a very good question. Lot of people tell me, and even I also have witnessed those kind of things. I want to do something small, but in terms of business also, they will tell why. Now you wanted so many audience, you have reached out to them, and they like you, they love you. Now you can't do a region specific cinema or so. It's a very complicated decision and very important decision of any actor's life. Let's see, we will pass that phase also, because when I came here, I had my own challenges to just be in capital, then to enter the industry. Everything is a challenge, and you have to face it. How well you face it and how much effort you are trying to put, it decides it all.
So what have you decided for next?
Not yet. We are working on a script where I feel I can entertain all the section of audience who are liking my work or who wants to see me. It should work. We are working on that.
You recently said that there is no such thing as like a language specific industry, right? It's like, why do we call ourselves the Indian film industry rather than Kannada or Malayalam or Hindi or whatever it is? This next film you're working in, is it going to be a Kannada film? Is it going to be but the base is what I'm talking about, not the
Correct.
The root is what I'm asking. So
before that, I want to address that first part of your question. It's a very important question. As a country, we have many culture, many languages, and I always believe our language, our culture should be our strength.
right.
So how the strength is always when people come together. So I want everybody to come together and think about this cinema industry as an industry. You know, when you have a iron ore or any this thing, somebody manufactures does that, and it doesn't mean where it is going into, which part of the country. Somebody is building a house out of that, and they get shelter.
Yeah.
So it's all about making or bringing things which makes people come together. So for me, that is a bigger challenge than the script today.
Right.
When we think of a script, we don't think about it like it's a Kannada film or a Tamil film or a Telugu film, because this has been happening since ages. How do we develop? Where is the strength? You know, you have to come together and think about everybody's emotions. So on a deeper level, I think about human emotions.
Right.
A human who speaks Kannada or Tamil or Telugu.
That's beautiful.
But by the end of the day, I think about his emotions. We all are same. We have our differences. We have our cultural nuances, which is good, which is also should be considered and adapted. But on a deeper level, The human angle is what I look at, and high time we have to come together and we have to think about it, saying, it's a cinema.
Yeah.
More than breaking it, because we have technology today, and when you're dubbing, we don't dub carelessly. It's a process. It's a big process on itself. It's a project on itself, because we get the right people. There's one guy called Ashok. He has spent a lot of time on the dubbed version of Tamil, and in fact, we have spent more time on Tamil dubbing versions than the Kannada version. So what happens is, other language also, but if I start dubbing, then it will be great. Like Prakash Raj sir, he has dubbed in all 5 languages. In fact, he's the only actor, and then Rav Ramesh sir has dubbed in 4 languages. So that brings in a lot of originality and texture. So that is where we should go. I think all the actors should be able to dub in all the languages. Then it becomes original, this thing. Not many people will like to see somebody else lending their voice, but I thank them, whoever has done this dubbing for me, because they have done a fantastic job.
Right.
It is not just like one day they finished. 6 months we have worked on this, and there's one guy called Dr. Suri, my friend, he has taken care of it. Ashok, in this particular version, he has worked hard. So I should thank them, and this is the time for us to come together and move forward.
Finally, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling a little sad that the KGF journey is over? Or are you being positive and saying...
Is it
that
over?
next-
I don't know. So yesterday somebody asked Prashanth and say, how does it feel to part and all. He kind of reacted in a very different way. He said, how can it stop? So it will never stop, sir. So we have developed a bond in such a way that we have creatively created a world around us, which is very, very, whatever he does, whatever I do, or whenever we come, this is all about the belief system and the process we go through. So we will enjoy that, and KGF is one such thing, and I'm happy that I don't get attached to anything. I want people to watch it. He thinks in a different way. He was sad when he finished the DTS. He was sad when he finished the DI version, and it's like it's going away from me. But I see in a different way. I'm like I now switch roles. I'm like I want to sit with the audience and look at the film and enjoy and enter that world and live that world. So yeah, it will continue. I don't know whether it is KGF or something, but we'll keep entertaining people. We'll keep making cinemas.
And anyway, in a way, once a film is made, it's forever.
It's forever.
Yeah, so that's
That's the best part of this industry.
Yeah. Thank you, Yash.
Thank you, sir.